Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to See Blissfully Lit podcast. I'm your host, Samie. And today we have a special guest, Miss Liz. Liz, it's such a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Hi, Sammy. Hello, everybody.
Could you start by telling our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'd be so honored. I'm so honored to be here. I just absolutely loved meeting you and everything that you're about. And I just believe that you're giving such a gift to the world by just being yourself and all the gifts that you have. And um, part of what I do is actually helping people find their spiritual gifts. Our spiritual gifts are to be shared with the world and specifically to help others. They weren't given us to us to help ourselves. They were given us to help other people. And I think you have such a beautiful spiritual gift. So keep going. But my name's Liz Lequeux, and I am a mom of three, a wife to one. I own a legal shield business. And through that, for the last 23 years of owning this business, I've had to learn how to um, love, mentor, minister, and coach the people that I love and lead, which is a large agency of about 2,000 associates nationwide in Canada and now into Puerto Rico. We opened last month. I'm an independent agent, which means I own, my own independent franchise, and there are thousands of us that are out there. But just kind of like owning your own State Farm agency, except it's Legal Shield, which is affordable legal services for everyone. So it doesn't matter your financial or economic status. We believe everyone deserves to have access to their rights when they're needing it and they're needing the legal help. So instead of it costing $400 an hour for a lawyer, we basically do the services starting at $29 a month. And we help families and business owners, especially new business owners, getting out into the real world. Well, it's always been the real world, but getting out and starting their business and helping, grow and scale their business nationwide, worldwide, and all that. But recently, I've become a minister and am currently in seminary to become a pastor at my church. And I've just been felt called to do that for the last few years. And my youngest child is now 8 years old. So I kind of feel like, okay, I'm ready to take on something new, something more. I've always wanted to do it, but our family is kind of our first ministry first. And so I feel that now I'm ready and I'm really grateful.
What a blessing. What a blessing to have this experience and to have all the growth through development of your current professional position too. It seems like it geared you up for this next step of life and this next phase that you're moving into.
Mm. Yes, I think everything that I'm about to do in ministry, I have learned every skill from my vocational career, right? And
Mhm.
it has prepared me for this moment. So truly, there is a scripture that says, for for such a time as this, this is the moment that you were created for. So, yeah.
Oh, I love hearing that. I mean, it reminds me of the first question I usually lead with, which is, what does magic mean to you and how it plays a role in your journey? Because in some ways you can look back at those experiences and you can reflect on all that you gained from those experiences and how you're carrying them now with you and how they were all just perfectly pieced together to create this amazing being that you are today.
Mm. Oh, thank you. Well, gosh, magic is like the wonder and bliss of moments that make you smile. When you're going through life and you're like, oh, thank you for that parking spot that, it just opened for me, or thank you for that, or you met somebody that like changed your life. And I truly believe that nothing happens by accident. I think that I believe everything happens for a reason because I truly believe that God planned you and planned your life for you. And so I feel like, what is magic? I feel like it is little kisses and blessings from God that He's just dropping on you. And you're like, thank you for that, right? All sometimes the little things that come and those blessings, or you weren't expecting the little, $100 insurance refund check in the mail because you overpaid your property insurance this year and they sent you a refund. And you're like, thank you for that. Right? And God would know that you would need that at that very moment in time. But earlier when you prepaid, you didn't need it. And so I just feel like that's what magic is. I feel like it's God smiling on you and giving you blessings.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. You remind me of a friend used to call them God winks, and I carry that with me today. But when I have experiences like that, I'm like, oh, it's a little God wink. I'm on the right path.
I like that. I'm going to use that.
So I'm curious, could you share a story of a turning point that really transformed your life path toward conscious living?
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. I mean, so many. I don't know if there's one huge thing, but lots of little things. Like I just feel like we're all on a journey and we're all searching for the purpose and meaning of life, you know? And I felt like through my whole life, I've been like, oh God, like, what do you want me to be doing with my life? Or what am I supposed to be doing? What do you want me to do with the rest of my life? Even though I was totally happy in my career, making lots of money, just totally successful at the top of my game, and speaking to, at stadium-sized conventions of thousands of people, and just feeling like, okay, I should be, I feeling like I was in my calling, feeling like I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing with my life. But I part of my spiritual gifts thing that I help people do is that I discovered that when you do become a believer, and I know that not every listener here is a Christian, and so hopefully that you understand my heart here in sharing this, but when you do become a believer, God places the Holy Spirit within you and gives you a spiritual gift. And until you're able to use that gift, identify it, number one, number two, actually use it, we will continue to long for purpose on this earth. We will continue to wonder what it is that I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And so, even though I was at the top of my game, you know, thousands and thousands of followers, whatever you want to call it, in today's worldly ways of what it means to feel purposeful and feel fulfilled. You should feel fulfilled because you have all this money. You should feel fulfilled because you live in the big mansion. You should feel fulfilled because you have 10,000 followers or something like that. Um, Whatever, right? But all the things you should. You're married, you have children, you have a family, you should. But we will continue to grasp for our purpose and meaning until we find our spiritual gift. And so I took our free assessment, and there's nothing to be sold because it's like, it's at church, right? It's we help you find your calling, your shape. And so my calling and my shape is different than I thought. And it's three gifts. I was literally just looking at this before this call. I didn't even know what you were going to ask me. So I just happen to have it here though. Interesting how God does work, right? And so my number one gift is encouraging others.
Wow.
Encouraging others. And so I thought, oh, it's my gift is probably leadership. My gift is probably like organizing events or something like that. But no, my number one gift is encouraging other people. And until I'm doing that all the time or leaning into that, then I don't feel like I'm using my purpose. But when I can encourage other people or lift somebody up that day, I felt purposeful that day. Another gift of mine is service, like seeing the needs of people and wanting to be able to help fill them. Seeing people hurting, seeing people struggling, seeing people having needs, and to actually, whether it's cook for them or help clean their house because they just got out of surgery or whatever it is, then I feel like I'm living my purpose. It's okay that I'm still like, doing my business and whatever, but if I'm also spending my time in my gift, in my spiritual shape, my spiritual gift, which again is not for us. Our spiritual gift was given to us to help other people. And until we realize that, we will continue to search. And there's a book by David Brooks called The Second Mountain. And right before I stepped into ministry, I found this book. And I think he's Jewish. The David Brooks, great book. I was like in Barnes and Noble, when you go to the bookstore, searching, like tell me something new, like give me a new ideas, fill my soul. So I'm find this book. This is before I stepped in full time into ministry. And it's a book about you climb the first mountain. You get out in life, you graduate from school, and you start climbing the first mountain. And you think it's about acquiring a family and 2.5 kids with the white picket fence. You think that it's getting the house and having the career and all the things. And then you get to the top of the first mountain and you're like, is this all there is? Like, is this all there is? And you still, even though you have everything that the world says that you should have, you still feel like something's missing. And that's when many people at the height of what they would call the peak of their life, they then start climbing the second mountain. And the second mountain is all about contributing to the world, giving back, serving others, volunteering, and whatever. But it's this other, whatever speaks to your heart, right? As far as being able to make the contribution to the world. And when you're doing that, then you're like, yes. Then you feel alive. Then even though you were happy in your on your first mountain, you were happy. But the unexplained joy, bliss, feeling alive, feeling like this is what I was put on this earth to do, comes when you're climbing that second mountain. Some people find that second mountain earlier in life, you know? because life was not meant to be about worshiping ourselves as this world is starting to become more about, especially on social media and all. I mean, what do we do? We're worshiping ourselves. As a podcaster I was listening to, I wish I could tell you his name. I was listening to it last night, but instead, worshiping God and giving our lives to serving other people. I hope that makes sense.
That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing. You actually answered, the next two questions that I was leading up to. So it's very synchronistic and beautiful. Uh, and it really reminded me of being in school, and I studied psychology nearly 10 years ago now, but I remember that being part of, the phases of life. And they talked about the end of life being this phase where you don't really feel fulfilled unless you're giving back.
Mhm.
And in that psychological theory, that was end of life. That was like when you're in retirement. That was after, after you built the house, after you had the family, after you had the job. Um, and there was always this deeper fulfillment in the psychology even of humans to want to give back, to want to serve and help others. And I think that there's a certain symbiosis to that. I might be saying that word wrong. But we see it in naturally in nature. Like for instance, The Giving Tree, that book. the trees in nature are always giving, and they're giving air, and they're, you know, refreshing the world. And we see all these natural processes around us that, I mean, nowadays, technology and everything else around us is distracting from, but all these beautiful processes in nature are reciprocal and they're giving back, and they're also serving a purpose for everybody. And that's nature, even for humans to do, is to be a part of that. And I think we're at a turning point in humanity and our processes where we're moving back into that, you know, holding the light for one another and guiding each other home.
Mm,
And you just reminded me of all that. So
that's beautiful. Mm.
I'm curious, um, as someone who inspires change, what messages do you generally try to convey to others who are seeking transformation?
Mm. I feel like everyone needs to know that they are loved. They are deeply loved. They may have not received it ever before. They may have not felt it from their earthly mother, their earthly father, their siblings, their family, their teachers, their boss, the people that they look up to and expect to receive love from. But guess what? As humans, we're all deeply flawed. Not one of us is perfect. And now that I'm a mom, I wonder what kind of damage I'm doing to my kids. Like, I mean, I think I'm a good mom, but like, 20 years from now, we'll really see what they say about how I parented them and if they got from me what they needed and wanted, right? Even though I feel like I'm a loving mom, but I think we reach out and we are expecting others who are imperfect to be perfect and to give us what we need. And so I want to let you know that you are loved. And I feel like it is my responsibility as a pastor in training for you to know that you are loved by God and that He planned you long before you were born and you have a purpose here on this earth. You have an amazing purpose here on this earth. So if you've been walking discouraged, just feeling like, not sure of that purpose, just know that he has amazing plans for you and bigger plans for you. You may have suffered extreme loss or totally brokenhearted, but that person wasn't the right person for you because God has bigger plans for you and he's got that right, perfect soulmate for you. So I just want to encourage you to know that you're a very special person and you have a unique gift that nobody else has but you, that you were put on this earth to share with the world.
That is so inspiring and really heartwarming. I can see that this is truly your purpose, and you just vibrate it so beautifully. Do you have any daily practices or rituals that you find essential to keep you connected and inspired?
100%. Every time I wake up, I don't shoot out of the bed happy go lucky, like usually if I didn't sleep well or whatever, right? The stress that I'm carrying from the day before, the tasks that need to get done this week, big deadline week, all that kind of stuff. So, people would always ask me, hey, what's your secret to success in business? Or what's your secret to success in Legal Shield? And I would always just say, well, I exercise first thing. Actually, no. First thing I do read my Bible, even if it's just a verse, and then I journal and write because I tried praying with my eyes closed and I just fall asleep. So if I write in a journal, it's my letters to God, but I've been writing letters to him ever since I was a kid in a diary, dear diary, but I didn't know I was writing to him until I became a Christian, which wasn't until my early 20s. But anyway, I will do that, which takes about 5, 10, 15 minutes, right? Depending upon how into it I am. And then I will shoot out the door and go for a walk. I'll always exercise first thing. And this has been my secret to happiness, balance, success. I just feel like Tony Robbins says motion creates positive emotion. And I feel like if we're stuck, inertia says a body at rest will stay at rest. So if you feel stuck, just get out and do exercise. Get the blood flowing. And scientifically, we need 20 minutes of deep breathing and cardio to have a full replenishment of oxygen in the bloodstream. And when our bloodstream is fully oxygenated, then our brain comes alive. Whatever muck we were thinking, negative thoughts, like kind of dissipate
Mhm.
after 20 minutes. Like I know it like a T. It takes me 40 minutes to do a full circle around my neighborhood. And I know exactly at the point where it takes me 20 minutes to get to the bottom of the hill. And I every time I'm standing in front of that house, when I hit that house at the bottom of the hill, I somehow feel refreshed. Oh, this was great. I'm so glad I went. Right? And what was it? It was a physiological thing of oxygen, right? And um I like what you said, being in touch with nature. That's part of it too. So yeah, exercising and eating right. In my former career before I started my business, I was a nutritionist and personal trainer, aerobics instructor. So I'm all about eating super healthy. I don't think that you need to spend this tons of money on these excessive supplements and energy drinks and stuff like that that are out there today. Yeah, some of them are great, but I don't think you need to. I think you can heal yourself with food. Like if you're just eating nutrient dense foods, and how we feel down here is how we're going to feel up here, you know?
Yeah, there's the gut brain connection.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I remember meeting with my doctor and asking about supplements, and my doctor was like, "Well, as long as you're eating well, uh, and balanced diet, you might not need any supplements at all." And I mean, my blood work has always reflected that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Yep.
good healthy eating. I love
Mhm.
that you shared that routine. I do something very similar in the mornings as time allows it. I mean, some mornings we're busy,
Yes.
but um I love to get up and after my morning meditation, I like to go for a walk. And I feel that same way. I like to take the walk with nothing with me, nothing but my mind, and I find clarity. Sometimes I get inspiration, sometimes I have ideas,
Hmm.
and it's like 15 or 20 minutes. And I get back and I'm refreshed, I'm ready to go, I'm charged up.
Yes. The ideas flow. I always am like, man, I wish I had a pen and pencil. I need to go get myself a little teeny notebook, with a pen that sticks in it or something that I could bring, because I try to leave my phone at home when I
Yeah.
go on my walk to be free of that. But that's when the ideas come.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. I set up my phone so that I can press one button and I can record. So I do little voice memos sometimes when that stuff comes up. And I'll go back and listen to my voice memos. And sometimes I forget they're there and I go back and I find all these really interesting ideas.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah. So it's a fun way, even if you're carrying technology, but you can always take a notebook too. So, in your opinion, how can people tap into magic within themselves to just step into the life that they envision? And maybe maybe a way for just like anybody to do this, no matter what their beliefs are, no matter what their current practices are in life, just somebody who's curious.
How do you step into your magic? That's a great question. Huh. I would say that. You know, stepping into my magic would come from, well, in my opinion, would be getting closer to God, because then you really understand what your spiritual gifts are, you know? But also just trying to see the magic around you. A lot of people, sometimes we're just so, our head is just so full of the negative thoughts, what just happened to us, the boss that just yelled at you, the fight that you just had with your spouse, like, and sometimes we're just so wrapped up that we really do need to take a minute, and we do really need to breathe and sit in what I guess people would say meditation, or just sit in silence. There are some people that I really admire that I wish that I could be like them. Like I wish I could be a nun for the day, where they just have that thing where they just don't speak to anyone. They don't talk or hear anybody else talk for the first half the day or something like that. I don't know, monks do this or something, you know? And then you can see the beauty and the magic around you. It is all around us. The blessings, the winks, all that. It's there.
Yeah. Just making your mind and your moment quiet to allow for that opportunity to come through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, I know that you are in this transition period, but do you already have plans for your next big aspiration in your journey?
Wow. You're the first person to ask me this since I have transitions, since I have stepped into ministry, because my whole life has been about seeking big aspirations and the next big goal, and then crushing it and then going to the next one, right? Or going for it and failing and going for another one, um, I am enjoying the just being in the moment and being available for people, and not always moving forward, but just being here and being still, being available and being present. Speaking of which, my 15-year-old son has decided to play his drums right now, if you can hear that in the background.
I can't, but
Okay,
I'm sure they're
okay.
great.
But anyway, um, I wrote a book. Okay, so last year when I was like feeling the call, didn't know what it meant, knew I was supposed to be using my gifts for God, didn't understand what that was, didn't know that I would be stepping into this role because this role wasn't available at that time. I wrote a book for young people. I would say it's for high school and college students getting out into the real world. It's called Real World Superpowers. It's success principles for the next generation. And basically, it's timeless success principles, but written in today's social media world, where we could get lost to comparing ourselves to others, or caring about what people think about us, and truly learning the secrets to life. And in here, there are 12 superpowers that one of them is a dating superpower. How to find your soulmate and really know that they're truly the one. Is this one really the one? How to really truly know. And so it's in here, but it's good. It's good. It is, you know, leadership lessons from the Bible as well. And but I think that my next big project would have to do with writing another book, of some kind. I don't know to who and to what, but I do feel the stirring as well, to do that. And so maybe that's coming soon.
Well, wishing you all the best with that and clarity as to what the topic is. I'm sure that it'll unfold just as it's meant to for you. And thank you for sharing about your book. I'm very curious and interested in reading it. It'll probably be my next big read, along with The Second Mountain.
Thank
I
you. Thank you.
love
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So, out of pure curiosity with what you shared from your book, Have you found your soulmate?
I sure have. And I tell my story in it of why I was able to know. And it's an interesting superpower. It's an interesting tip, but I have not had one person try it and say that it was wrong. So let's put it that way. I've had and everybody who does read that and is like, oh, okay, I see why. Yes, I see why this would work. So if you're looking and you want to get married soon, if
I
you're serious. Yeah.
love all the advice.
Mhm.
So, do you have any final thoughts or words of wisdom for our listeners today?
Hmm. Oh gosh, I guess that, you don't have to have everything figured out all at once. You just need to put one foot in front of the other. You just need to make the next right choice. Our whole life is a series of choices. And if we just make the next right one, your life will be made up of a lifetime of right choices, right? And it's okay if we made bad choices in the past. That's how we learn. And it's okay if you fail, make mistakes. That's how we learn, right? That's what makes us human and what makes us great teachers for the future generations and for our children. But, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. Just take the next right step.
And in your opinion, when making those decisions and making that next right step, what are some questions that one could ask oneself or things to reflect on when deciding?
Hmm. Well, in my culture, we always just say, well, what would Jesus do? Right? Or would Jesus say that? I don't think so. So, yeah, I would just ask WWJD.
Um, for so for me, I didn't really grow up like going to church or reading the Bible, so I'm curious, what would Jesus do? Like when faced
Hmm.
with a decision.
Hmm. Well, I would say that Jesus is love. So if my next reaction to what someone said to me, or if my next decision that I had to make, if it was loving, if I'm responding to someone in love, that is how he would respond.
Um,
If it's responsible and not squandering, if it's a responsible move that helps people and doesn't hurt anyone, that's what he would do.
okay, so like I've heard of the golden rule, so kind of following that, do unto others as you would want done unto
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And approaching it with a loving energy. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel that around you. You have such a loving and just really beautiful presence.
Oh, thank you. I feel the same way about you the day we met.
Oh, I felt that too. So thank you so much for joining today. For our listeners, we'll do a short little meditation before we close out. So today I invite you to close your eyes. If you're driving, pause the podcast and do this later. Not safe to close your eyes while you're driving or operating any machinery. So we'll close our eyes and just come to a comfortable position wherever you are, whether you're seated, standing, laying down, in between. And just take a deep, deep breath in and a deep, deep breath out. And I invite you to bring awareness to your heart. Another deep, deep breath in and another deep, deep breath out. Just recognize the heart beating with each breath, the tempo of the heart rate. Just noticing the breath softly regulating. Just allow the breath to naturally go at its own pace. And just returning awareness to your heart, to that rhythmic beat. And just feeling that beat flowing through your entire body. Feeling the love within your heart as it keeps your body alive. Pumping the blood and the oxygen. And just for a moment, experience the gratitude for this happening, for this aliveness, for this opportunity, this moment together. And as you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Perhaps look around your space before returning to the screen if you're watching the screen. And just notice what's present now versus when we started. Thank you so much for joining us today, Liz. Thank you for sharing your incredible insights and your inspiring journey. I look forward to seeing your next pieces of work and other forms of collaboration in our future.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Samie. I love you. You're a
Oh,
wonderful gift to this world.
oh, I love you too. You are such a gift too. It's been such a pleasure to have you all here with us today. I'm so grateful for you and stay blissful. Lots of love.